Good evening, everyone. I am Zoe Vermillion, and welcome to tonight's episode of Retro Reboot, brought to you by the GDQ Hotfix. Before we get into everything tonight, I do want to make a couple quick announcements. First of which is that Community Spotlight on Monday is going to be featuring Saga Frontier. That's a great game. It's going to be a great show. You should definitely come out and watch that. As well as Summer Games Done Quick 2020 is moving online. So if you want more information about what that means, go to gamesdonequick.com. All of the updated dates are there. You have a chance to submit games again if you maybe didn't in the past. And then also all bits and subscriptions for the month of June are going to the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. So that's what we're doing for June. Without any further ado, though, tonight's episode is going to be about Cave Story. We're going to have Cave Story and Cave Story 3D. This game actually means a lot to me. Speedrunning, I never speedrun it myself, but a friend showed me a speedrun back in 2012, and then proceeded to show me GDQ. And so here we are 8 years later, and I am sitting hosting a show on the Games Done Quick channel, so that means a lot to me. But enough about me. I'm going to hand it over to the runner who's actually going to be doing the impressive stuff tonight. And that's Perry. How are you doing tonight?
I am doing quite well. Thank you for asking.
Great. So the mic is yours. You can introduce yourself to commentators. Just let me know when to start this time.
All right. So hi, everyone. I am Periwinkle, and I'll have my commentators introduce themselves.
Hey, I'm Ekorn. I run this game too.
I'm Matt. I go fast, usually.
Thanks. So this is Cave Story. So this is one of those games where you've either played it and loved it, or you've never heard of it before. So this is a freeware PC game that came out in 2004. It's notable for having been developed by a single person who spent 5 years working on it in his spare time, and then he released it to everybody on the internet for free. So then the story goes that around the late 2000s, 2010-ish, a publisher called Nicholas picked up the game and started porting it to various consoles, Nintendo consoles, starting with the Wii. So those ports are not free, unfortunately, but that's okay because you can still download the original game for free legally. And there's even fan translation patches in case you don't understand Japanese, and unofficial Mac and Linux ports in case you don't run Windows. So yeah, there's lots of ways of getting this game for free. So I'll be running the best ending category today. So that basically means I'll be playing the entire game, including the super secret, notoriously difficult Final Gauntlet. So look forward to that. All right, Ekorn and Nat, y'all ready?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Go.
All right, gonna start a countdown and then pass it off to you. So 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
So he's just gonna be mashing through all this text to begin. Because he can't read it anyway, you know? I mean, at least I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't understand Japanese at all.
Me neither.
You're going to be noticing he's going to be jumping a lot. It's about 3% faster. It's a small time difference, but it will save a lot of time over the course of an hour run.
Yeah, the way that works is that friction pulls your speed down whenever you're on the ground, so it's very slightly faster to stay in the air as much as possible. And the task can actually do some fancy speed manipulation to maintain a 5% higher than the normal speed.
I did not know that.
Either.
So coming up here, he's going to pick up his first life capsule. Those increase his life by a variable amount depending on the capsule. This one increases it by 3. And here he's going to take a damage boost off of a critter so he can just shoot a door till it explodes. Much faster than jumping up and trying to shoot it.
Here, Periwinkle will be collecting a item called Silver Locket that basically makes the game progress.
Got the fish boost.
Epic.
That saves some time.
About a second.
It's also like a a 3-frame window, right?
I don't know the actual frame window. It's somewhat precise. The setup I use makes it more consistent, but it also wastes a little bit of time.
So you'll notice he talked to the left side of Taroko and not the right side. It's because the game will bounce him to the left side, which will save him a couple of frames after he's done with this room.
Alright. Did not say yes to Balrog.
We missed an excellent boss fight because he said no.
Got the slope shot.
Oh, good job.
That's a 1 pixel window to shoot between the slopes like that.
It's a 1 pixel.
Yeah.
Oh man.
And because you move at more than 1 pixel per frame, sometimes you don't even get the frame to get the shot.
Now that he has this key, he can progress on to the main teleporter room. I think it's called Arthur's house. And that will send us off to Egg Corridor, where the real fun begins.
Gotta take a safety save here, just in case. One thing about this game that makes it particularly brutal for speedruns is that whenever you die, you lose all of your progress since the last time you saved. So, saving in a no reset event like this is probably a good idea.
So, on his way through this level, he's going to be trying to collect as much XP as possible while pretty much not stopping for anything. Because by the time he reaches the end of this hallway, he's going to want a level 3 Polar Star. And this is what's called a bug ride. During the cutscene, you can ride on these bugs, and they will carry you forward. And sometimes, if you do it late, backwards.
Did not get the backwards bug ride.
After all that practice, trying to fail it, you end up succeeding.
I almost jumped too late for that, though.
So going underneath this way is faster than jumping over all that stuff, though it is a bit scarier. Because that basil at the bottom of the level, one hit kills you, and that loses quite a bit of progress. And he's going for the optimal basil cycle, which is to jump right as it's about to kill him into that egg, saving a bunch of time.
Unfortunately, I don't have level 3 yet, so I'm gonna have to farm these enemies a little bit. Ideally, I would already have level 3 for this boss, but, you know, RNG is like that sometimes.
I was gonna say something about this boss, but he's already gone, so...
That was a pretty decent fight.
You may have noticed that he skipped over getting the missile launcher. That's intentional. We grab it later in the next area because it's faster.
Yeah, if you grab missiles here, you have to wait on an elevator, and it's really slow.
On his way back to the teleporter, he's going to be grabbing some more Doritos, so he gets his Polar Star up to max level, which is basically not like a new level, it's just sort of a buffer for your XP in case you take damage. Because in this game, taking damage takes away XP from your weapons, and so it's not very good to lose too much of it.
Especially since I need a little bit of XP for this next damage boost.
Oh yes, he's gonna take a damage boost here so he can get this life capsule without having to go into Cthulhu's abode. It's very fast. That's a lot of bugs.
Also, a lot more cutscenes.
Yes, tasty cutscenes. If only we could skip these somehow.
If only this were the Switch version where you can actually skip the cutscenes.
Yeah, and it runs 20% faster as well. How about that? So he's got to climb up, talk to Sue, so he can progress to Grass Town. And if he doesn't talk to her, the teleport simply won't unlock. So, have to do this.
Have I ever mentioned how climbing up those steps optimally is really hard?
Oh, it's super hard. So here he's picking up Santa's key. He's gonna go talk to Santa. Santa's that bunny we just saw. And Santa's gonna give us something that allows us to be more efficient in what we're good at. What are we good at?
Shooting.
Yes. Yeah, can you tell us a little bit about the fireball, what it does?
Well, basically, it's a weapon that obviously shoots fireball. I think this is obvious. The fireball will bounce on the ground, and as you can see here, Perry will upgrade it to level 2.
At level 2, it does like 4 to 6 damage. It does
Yeah,
4
I think
damage most of the time, and 6 damage sometimes. But yes, it does bounce a lot. Very bouncy. What Perry tried to do there was a buffered interaction for the door. Basically, as you're falling, you can buffer your interaction down, so by the time he touches the door, he instantly just leaves. At least that's how I think that goes.
This jump is super stressful. Okay.
Yeah, he did some quick weapon switching to the fireball, as sometimes the Polar Star's bullets just deflect off the big jellyfish, but the fireballs do not.
Well, the fireball is just does more damage, so...
But it also doesn't deflect. Right?
I'm actually not sure.
I've never witnessed it deflect, therefore it does not.
Fair enough. I'm gonna go for a really tricky damage boost here.
That was pretty pog.
Messed up the weapon swapping a little bit, but that's fine.
Coming up, he's going to be attempting to do something called Choco Skip. What is Choco Skip?
Well, basically, Perry will be damage boosting on a bat. Oh, that's unfortunate.
You didn't pause.
Yeah, basically when you pause in this game, you reset your invisibility. I can pronounce this word. Invincibility frames and get hit a second time, making him able to reach the upper section of the house.
So he's gonna get the key, and then he's gonna talk to the door. If he doesn't talk to the door, Malco won't talk to him, and we want Malco to talk to him so he can go by really fast. Otherwise, we would have to walk back and talk to the door. What does the door say? I don't know. Can't read Japanese.
It says it won't open. Door is rusted shut.
Talking doors.
So the strat here is basically to jump on his head and just, spam out some fireball shots, and there you go, he's gone. I made that sound a lot simpler than it actually was. Sorry.
I mean, that's pretty much what you do.
Oh man, you're right. So now he's talked to Malco, he can go and get the gum base, which is the final ingredient that he needed. He went to get the not the fireball, the charcoal earlier, and then he grabbed jellyfish juice on the way. And since he did Choco Skip, he does not have to go back and get more jellyfish juice.
Hang on, this jump is really tricky. Because the momentum in this game is interesting.
So here's where we get our missiles. He's going to be leveling them up to level 2 by destroying some frogs and getting their Doritos.
Hopefully at least one of the frogs drops Doritos. If that's the case, then I'll basically be guaranteed, well, there it is, to get level 2. If none of the frogs drops Doritos, it'll be a little bit harder.
Well, that's a lot of XP you got there.
Indeed. So normally I would do a damage boost off of one of the bats, but since I messed up a jump earlier and ended up killing the bats, not gonna do that. Also, I thought that was gonna be early.
This is a kind of a tighter jump on the freeware version.
It's like a 3-frame window.
Yeah.
Not a very good setup for the next trick.
So here Misery is going to turn Balrog into Balfrog. Oh my.
Oh, I actually still got it.
Oh! Okay, so... I'll wait to explain this, but basically right now he's trying to do at least 100 damage each cycle for this. That way he can get a 3 cycle that will prevent Balfrog from jumping up and spawning more frogs.
Not quite.
And he did not get it. Oh man.
That was really close though.
It was pretty close, yeah. Basically what he did was to jump through Balfrog is, the hitboxes are like separated or something, right?
Yeah, Balfrog has 2 hitboxes, one for the head and one for the body. And whenever he jumps, those hitboxes separate. And if with really good timing, you can slip through the gap in between and avoid taking damage.
Nice fan boost.
Thanks.
What are we getting here again?
This is a bomb.
No, you're the bomb.
You had that prepared, didn't you?
Yeah, yeah. I know, I'm hilarious.
Say hi to Professor Booster. He'll be giving us
there
an
he is.
important item later.
Unless we do something that we're not supposed to.
Well, either way, he'll be giving us some kind of item later.
We are now leaving Grass Town, but these guys are going to take the fast way out. Don't know why they didn't bring us along with them. Kind of rude, not gonna lie. Oh.
And right there, you
Okay.
can see that their bike crash landed.
Serves them right. If I was the
Yeah.
one driving, this wouldn't have happened.
If only they had brought me along, that wouldn't have happened.
Lots of cutscenes in the early game.
Yeah. Fortunately, it gets a lot better in the later part of the game.
So after this cutscene, we're going to be heading into the Sandy Zone.
I think it's just called Sand Zone.
Sandy Zone. Lots of sand in it. It's sandy. Nat knows a lot about sand.
Indeed, he has the world record for Sand Pit Challenge on Cave Story Plus.
Yeah, Sandpit is a challenge from the Switch port.
I tried to get good at Sand Pit, but never could.
It's kind of hard.
Another bug
Lots of
ride.
RNG.
Last one we'll see.
That bug ride is free.
Is it?
It really isn't.
Doesn't look free though.
So facing off against Curly, he's just gonna use the fireball again.
Didn't mean to take damage there, but that's fine.
And now Curly's gonna give us a very important item. I don't know what it's called. I can't read Japanese still. It seems the fire bolts very rapidly. Looks sort of like a machine gun, but it couldn't be that. So by talking to that Mimiga on the far left side, you can actually take this dog with us. And we're gonna take him on a journey. See all new sights and sounds. By the end of it, he's gonna be questioning his own existence. Picking up another life capsule. I think that's your third to last one you're picking up.
There's a few more after this. I could try to count them right now, but I'm trying to go fast.
Interesting thing about these crocodiles come out of the ground, if you keep walking forward, they won't hit you.
A lot of people don't know that, actually.
Yeah, I couldn't figure that out for years. Is it like their hitbox comes out slightly after they appear?
Yeah, I think it's something like that. Alright, here's the ultimate mash test.
Can we get 300?
I missed the opening shot, so maybe not. 294. If that other opening shot I
close.
hit, that would have actually been the 300.
Very nice fight. So, on his way to Janka, he might try to avoid taking damage on his machine gun, maybe grind out a couple more levels for it. The reason we want to get the machine gun to level 3 is because it allows us to basically become a bird. So the faster we can become a bird, the faster we can fly. This is Janka. She takes our dog away from us. Balrog's here. Now he's gonna leave.
Bye, Balrog.
Bye. See you later. And now we're on a quest to go get more dogs. But while we're getting more dogs, we're going to collect some more XP for a machine gun. He's getting hearts right now. That's pretty cool. Not gonna lie. Wow, lots of hearts. These enemies sure do love you.
Here's the level 3.
Oh, finally. This big bone guy drops a big Dorito. We did not destroy him, so he will not give us the biggest Dorito.
Oh, I could have actually gotten that +5 Dorito, that medium-sized Dorito.
I want Doritos now.
Am I making you hungry?
No. The game is. Still made Doritos. So now he has level 3, he's going to be doing something called flying through the air, maybe?
You've probably already seen it. If you've been watching. If you've been paying attention so far, then you definitely have.
You may have already seen it. And that just lets us skip all that platforming. So to ensure that the machine gun never levels down back to 2, or even gets close to it, Perry will swap between weapons so they'll take damage instead. These birds are pretty much known for... oh.
Oof.
Yeah, hitting you. Because they're so random.
It's fine, we're back to
spawn.
max. Nice traps there.
So now we have 2 more dogs. One of them is in a secret location, and the other one is also in a secret location. Perry will have to find them, and once he has all 5 dogs, he can become a Captain Planet or something. Captain Dog. I never watched that show.
Me neither. Terrible show.
Is that buffered interaction I saw?
That is.
Wowzer, that's kind of hard to do.
Did you see I grabbed the life capsule in midair?
So yeah, there was a dog in a chest. Not sure if you caught that. But it was there, next to the life capsule, which is conveniently next to it. Can you imagine having to jump all the way over here? I can't, I've never done it.
It's pretty
Fast dog.
painful. Platforming here is pretty painful if you don't have machine gun.
Like the dog just up and goes in and suddenly he's all the way up there. Like what? Can he teleport? The answer is yes, he teleports. The only teleporting dog in the game. Balrog stole all the other dogs. That's it's kind of unfortunate. So we'll give her this last one to make her feel better.
You can't actually walk out without giving her the dog.
Yeah, personally, I would like to keep the dog, but Perry is just a good soul. He feels bad for her.
And also, I wanted that life pot that she gave me.
Well, at least you get something in return.
Don't need level 3 on my missiles. Hopefully we can get it here. And of course, as soon as I say that, all these things stop dropping XP. It's fine, we'll manage.
That was amazing battle RNG.
After this cutscene, we're going to be fighting against one of our former friends. There she is. And what's happening in the story right now is the doctor is feeding her a flower, and that flower is going to turn her into God for a second. And so we have to try to stop her from destroying the universe or something.
Close enough.
I'm making stuff up here. I still can't read Japanese, so...
Epic lore.
So, when Chiroko jumps is completely random, except for when we take out 4 fireballs or fire missiles. So Perry's gonna just kind of manipulate her into jumping by shooting some missiles and fireballs, and she's done. Congratulations, Perry.
That was a pretty decent fight.
That was a pretty good fight, yeah.
Basically anything, as long as I don't level down my machine gun, that's good enough.
So Chiroko's gone, and King turns into a sword. There's a sword. Pretty good weapon. By pretty
Alright.
good, very good. Yeah, moment of silence for King and Chiroko, who Perry murdered in cold blood. Okay, that's enough silence.
This is a backup life capsule. I don't normally get this one in runs, but I just want the extra health for today.
Are you getting the super duper secret dog capsule?
Oh, you mean the one in Plantation?
Perhaps.
I think we'll skip that one.
Oh yeah, machine gun just lets you skip over this entire platforming section. Yeah, that's a thing that happens.
Yeah, machine gun's pretty good.
It's so fast. It's so fast. And it becomes even faster later.
Spoiler alert.
What? No spoilers here, officer. I'm clean. So Perry, tell me about Roach Clip.
So, if a roach happens to land perfectly on the seam between 2 slopes, it'll fall through the ground and land. Oh, I almost missed the opening shots. It'll clip in, and that's where Roach Clip comes from.
This is a pretty difficult boss. Perry's basically going to have to have... Oh, never mind. Okay, yeah. We're good.
Bye.
So what happened there was he was... the blade hitbox appears behind quote when it's starting, so if he faces away from the thing he wants to hit, he can just keep pressing it and it'll come out much faster. Which basically allows him to not even have to try.
You still have to bash pretty hard. But other than that, pretty much, yeah.
It's like 10 CPS, you're fine. Well, in freeware it's probably more, because you have to mash like 20% faster.
You mean in other versions that aren't freeware?
Yes. correct. I meant that. Definitely.
Whew. Slightly sloppy, but we'll take it.
Barry, what's going on? I don't understand what you're doing. Can you explain it to me?
I'm trying to beat this boss.
Well, what I do know is that you're trying to make him turn faster, and you destroyed his green paws so you can get to the actual health bar. And by doing that, you can then spam blade into him, thus destroying it. Am I right about this?
Close enough.
Okay, good. Don't want anybody to feel confused.
That boss gives a lot of first-time players a lot of trouble.
I was stuck on it for 2 days.
That boss is actually the reason why my friend showed me the speedrun, so I could figure out how to beat it.
It's
may
a tough one
have
for sure.
You may have seen Booster fall down. Don't worry, I think he's fine. Maybe a couple of broken bones, but you know he'll live through it. He's an old man. He can take it. He's experienced.
You may have also seen me make that jump without the machine gun. Because
That's
why not?
That's kind of tricky. Is that red line like an indicator?
I messed up the timing, but at least I didn't get hugged by Balrog.
Yeah, when using the blade, the weapon actually spawns behind Code. This is why Perry was trying to kill the enemy while facing the opposite way.
If I did it fast enough, I could have killed him before he even jumped.
Yeah.
Time for one of the hardest sections in the speedrun.
With a very good song.
Very good song, yeah. Here he's trying to level up his super missiles that he just got to level 2. He's going to want this for the next boss. Ooh, that's not good.
It's alright. Let's see if we can get level 2 blade here as well. Just because, why not?
Machine gun also lets you do that. Just go down currents. Which we might do later, right, Perry?
Hopefully.
Yeah, the machine gun just makes the section so much faster. Because otherwise, again, you would have to do all this platforming, and there's water everywhere. Good weapon swapping. That was okay, Labyrinth.
Yeah, that's pretty alright. Only lost 10 seconds compared to my PB.
I can't even do the ending strat correctly, so... He also wants level 2 missiles, so he can do this. That, does a thing for the gate. If you have level 1, you don't... Like, what was it? You don't have enough length, or it, like, explodes before it even reaches it.
Well, the thing with level 1 is you can only have one missile on screen at a time, so you can't shoot both at once. That was bad, so I'm going to retry that setup. That's a little better. So Ekern, want to explain about this upcoming boss?
Oh yeah, this boss, it's the core. And, what he's going to try to do is, he's going to try to, at the end of it, get out of this drowning phase as quickly as possible. As you can see right there, he was drowning and now he's not. In order to do this, he's going to talk to Curly at a specific water level, correct?
Yeah, so basically this boss, after this boss, the game forces you to drown. So I'm going to try to start drowning during the fight so that I don't have to wait out the air timer as much after the fight. But getting the optimal water cycle is highly non-trivial, to say the least.
So he needs to be doing enough damage to progress the fight faster. And do this, he's going to use his level 2 missiles and the level 2 blade. The real trick of this is having enough missiles, therefore getting good drops, and also not having the baby cores block him so much. Now
One missile short.
And he's going to start spamming blade. And does he have enough missiles?
I think we got it. That was super close.
Wow.
That was super, super close. You saw that water was falling very rapidly.
That was scary.
That was very scary.
So that's what's referred to as a quick drown? Yeah?
I think we normally call it quick kill.
I
As
like
you can see, my air is already 20. Well, it was 20 when I beat the boss, but now it's 0. So that saves about 16 seconds.
And it's very hard.
It's very, very hard. This is like that boss is a major run killer.
So Perry's got the tow rope, which means he can take Curly with us. Curly is currently not breathing very well, so we gotta go save her real fast.
Wait, I thought she was a robot though. Why do robots need to breathe?
You know what, yeah. I can't explain this.
Alright, coming up is a really dumb trick, which is also the next major run killer.
Oh yeah, this. Basically with the machine gun, he's going to be pausing and unpausing very fast. There's some weird tech nonsense that I can't exactly explain very well, but that's a hard trick to do, just to let you know. I think
Second try is pretty alright.
He's combining mashing with the auto fire so he can get enough propulsion downwards to, you know, just avoid having to do the first section of Waterway.
Yeah, and that shortcut saves a lot of time, like 20-30 seconds-ish. I don't remember exactly. Somewhere in that range.
I think it was like 27.
Yeah, something like that.
That's just a number I made up, though, so don't. So the game actually tries to trick you into leaving her here, but Perry's got the...
I almost fell for it.
Yeah. What the game fails to understand is that it's not playing us, we're playing it. Using the machine gun so he doesn't take damage. Very nice. He's going to just be jumping from now on. And now here's a big fish. Nat, what is going on with this big fish? What is it doing?
Well, basically it's swimming, obviously, because it's a fish. But, yeah, I don't know what to say about this boss. It's pretty simple.
Just spam blade behind him, and
Pretty much.
you win. A lot of pufferfish that fly around, but hey.
Try to get some XP off of them. Didn't quite do it.
Okay, you know how I said that the real fun began when we went to Egg Corridor? Okay, I was half lying then. But now it's for real.
And this is where the real fun begins.
See that? That's the Booster 2.0. Lets him,
Crap, I did this.
What'd you do?
Messed up my inputs. I accidentally talked to Booster again.
So if you don't talk to Booster the first time he falls down, breaks all his bones, you get the Booster 2.0 later, which you need for best ending. And you can use it to do stuff like this.
Like that.
Yeah. That's called a machine boost. That specific variant was called a corner boost. Oh, that was hard to say. And that basically lets him keep all the speed from his booster by just touching the ground coming out of his booster. That thing you just did is really hard. In fact, all of this is very hard. And he's just up and doing it.
Oh, that was close. That was almost epic.
Yeah, basically there he tried to chain a machine boost with another corner boost to get him a bunch of speed, get through there much faster. He's gonna take these missiles and leave before the sisters show up, because that's the thing you can do. If you're all confused as to what is going on, don't worry, that was supposed to go by very fast.
It's supposed to. Messed up a little bit. It's fine. No big deal.
And here is Green Hair Man. Perry's gonna ask Perry if he wants to leave with him on a dragon or something. He's gonna say yes, but debated he's not actually going to do that. We tricked him. We tricked him good. Another interesting platforming section, completely destroyed by the machine gun.
You barely even get to see the level.
Yeah, it's like you can't even see it right now. I don't know who that guy is, but he seems scared. We're not going to consult him on anything. May have had a traumatic past. Who knows? Oh yeah, he did our machine boost, so he can get through here much faster. And the way he's setting up that machine boost is a very specific variant. He's setting up a slide boost, so that he is boosting and then forcing himself into the ground with a machine gun's propulsion, and that allows him to touch the ground while still boosting, and gives him the speed he wants. There's Curly. Nat, what happened to Curly? Why is she here?
I actually don't know. I don't remember where she went to get there.
Like, she was underwater, and now she's here.
Epic lore.
Try to get a fish boost there. That might not have been the best idea.
So, tried to use that teleporter. The guy didn't like it very much, so he stomped on us. Now it's a special teleporter. Can't touch it.
That Amiga has magic powers. You
destroy
saw,
walls.
yep, saw how before I talked to them, the wall was there to block me from exiting. But after I talked to them, the wall is gone. Oh, nice boost. That one is particularly jank.
It's a little hard to do that one. It's kind of so hard that I don't even do it myself. If the boosts look easy, though, they're actually quite difficult to pull off, especially for new players. Like, all of these are very impressive. Now he has the mushroom badge. It does absolutely nothing. He's gonna read the letter, so now he has a secret password. What's the secret password? No idea. It's in Japanese. Can't read it still. And now we're flying a bouncing mushroom. I am so confused right now. None of this makes any sense. What are we doing with the mushroom?
Ooh, nice boost. What are we doing with mushroom, you ask? Well, we're about to find out. Fish boost. Not quite.
Oh, I see. We're gonna feed Curly the mushroom.
We're just gonna jam it in our mouth.
That's the exact dialogue that it says in Japanese.
That literally is the English translation. Jammed it into Curly's mouth.
Now we have the Iron Bond, which means that we have access to the best ending. I think. So the prerequisites are to have the Booster 2.0 and to get the Iron Bond, and that should let you into the best ending. If you did not know this yet, now you know. Now you can get the best ending. Have fun. And now we are a rabbit.
Fortunately, that lady stole our booster, so now we have to endure these few minutes of very slow movement until we can get it back.
Yeah, once you get the booster, you kind of never want to go back to not having it. Because it just makes you feel so powerful. Cool thing about the mask is, when the rocket is completed, we don't have to give it back. So we can just complete the game without a booster, and that gives us the Mimiga Hero ending. And we get some unique art for that as well. But we're not doing that today. Or this week. Or month. Perry?
Yep.
I am running out of good jokes.
I didn't prepare any jokes for today.
That's bad. What are we gonna talk about?
Hey Nat, got any good jokes?
I don't, unfortunately. Didn't prepare any, too.
You were just
What do
getting
you-
all these interactions today. Like, wow.
What do you call a fish with no eyes?
A no-eyed fish.
A fish.
I get it. I get it. That's a good one.
Epic joke.
Okay, so now, he's gonna activate the rocket, and then he's gonna get his booster.
And then I'm probably gonna miss my ride. But that's okay, because I have a backup for this situation.
So now he has the booster back. He's gonna try to catch up to the. Wait.
Check this out.
Oh yeah, if you bonk your head, the
It's
rocket
back.
falls.
That is a very obscure mechanic that very few people know about, but if you bonk your head on any ceiling, that rocket will stop climbing.
Alright, here comes another somewhat difficult platforming section.
It's a little tricky.
So, just as he's about to fall into lava, you can actually press the jump button, and that lets him boost. Makes those precise things a little bit more bearable.
Oops. No big deal.
If you saw him level up his machine gun to level 3, that's, I'm gonna say it's kind of an advanced strat. And it's gonna allow him to fly through the, what's it called, the roof of the island?
Balcony.
Yeah, the roof. One syllable is always better than 3. It's gonna take that damage boost from the laser wall, because it only does 1 damage, and that's gonna let him take 10 damage against the red ogre, who is now dead. I think. Unless he became a statue. What does happen to him?
I think he becomes a statue.
Interesting. He was
Actually,
attempting to do a corner boost. Oh, there it is.
Yeah. I'm actually gonna take a safety heal here. And might as well save while we're at it.
So here is the boss gauntlet. You have to defeat 4-ish bosses at once without saving. And throughout all this, he's going to want to save his missiles. So he's going to use his machine gun for Misery, as well as the blade.
Oops. I think that was almost a cycle skip, but didn't quite get it. Got that though. That was pretty cool.
Okay, I was not expecting that. What did you do there?
So, I started boosting left right before I killed her, and once I killed her, I kept the momentum and
Oh,
just went flying to the left.
you said kill her so casually, it kind of makes me worried for your mental health.
I'm alright.
Okay, just checking. So this is the doctor. You just spam the blade, but if you spam too close to him, I think he explodes into red stuff. But we have enough health that it doesn't really matter. And we
Good
still
thing I
have our
healed.
lifeline.
Yeah. Good thing I healed. That's a pretty reasonable doctor fight. Well, at least the second form. One last corner boost.
So this boss fight is the... I'm brain farting on what the name is. Help.
Undead Core.
Yes, thank you. Oh my god.
Long day today.
It's been a long, long day. I've been up for at least 2 hours today. My
22
brain
hours of
is
sleep.
perfect.
Pog.
So to begin this fight, he's going to damage the undead core immediately, and it'll close. And until he defeats either Sue or Misery, or it gets to the left side of the screen, it won't open back up. So he's going to defeat Misery first, very quickly, because he has the blade, and the blade is overpowered. And now he's just gonna do this for the rest of the fight. And he wins.
Yay.
Yay, but we still got like 3 minutes left.
By the way, I just got a gold split on that boss.
Oh, good.
Wow.
Is this gonna be a PB?
Well, currently my splits say plus 144, so unless we can pull off an epic 1 minute 44 second gold.
I think it's possible.
Just skip to the end, right?
Oh, yeah. Anyway, after defeating Undead Core, your health completely refills. So, very nice.
But your missiles don't.
Correct. That's why he didn't use any.
I should be skipping the save point, right?
No. Please, God, no. So here we are in Sanctuary, or Heck, as a lot of people like to call it. He's going to start out by leveling up his missiles. He wants level 3 by Heavy Press, I think.
Yep.
And this is where he gets his last life capsule. So he has 35 health. Here's Curly. she somehow absorbed the dog's powers and gained the ability to teleport everywhere. And that's how she ended up here.
Ooh, nice dodge.
Jeez.
That was less of a good dodge, though.
Another nice thing about this room is that text box actually resets your iframes, so you can end up taking 20 damage for no reason. Use the missiles there to start the delete's explosion timer. Oh, nice, a hard drop. So you're just going to take a damage boost so he doesn't die instantly to the instant kill spikes.
No level 3 missiles, unfortunately. If I had level 3 missiles, I could have shot through the wall right there and triggered this delete that I'm standing in early.
He's going to want to clear some of the buttes so he doesn't take too much damage. There's also like another text box here that will do something, right?
There's like 3.
Oh man, that's, yeah.
Well, not 3 text boxes, but 3 things that will reset your iframes if you're not careful.
So he went ahead and picked up extra missiles. He did not get the level 3, however, so he's going to have to use more here. I almost thought you were going to go for that 3-frame trick. You scared me.
Definitely not. I am however, going to use this.
There's the dog. It teleported away again. He's got magic powers I don't quite understand. Here's Balos. I'm gonna need somebody to help explaining this. I don't quite understand what's going on.
Basically just smash him to death.
Mash up. And now he's gonna come back as a ball. What are the odds? Balos is a ball. So since the blade appears behind you and Curly's also behind you, facing away from the eye does the most damage to it. And you can just sort of sit on top of his head and destroy his eyes.
GG. Time is coming up soon. Funny how I can say that despite the boss still having full health.
Time coming up on the cut to the floating island.
Yep. And time. 8 seconds short, 9 seconds short of the sub-hour.
Good job, Perry. Round of applause.
GG.
That was a pretty decent run.
Pretty good.
I was aiming for around an hour flat, and I got around an hour flat.
Rounded down, yeah.
Yeah. So we just got some final ending cutscenes before we reach the credits. I'm not going to make you sit through the credits.
Oh, I will. Yep, feel free to drop by Discord if you want to learn how to run this game. And you'll see us 3D is coming up, right? When's that?
All right, sorry about those technical difficulties. GG's Periwinkle. Thank you for that amazing run.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so this is Retro Reboot. So what we do here is we show off the original, and then we show off a reboot or remake of it. So we're going to be showing Cave Story 3D. It's going to be a pretty different run. So stay tuned for that. We're going to go to a quick break. So hang tight. All right, and we're back, and we have more Cave Story on the way. But before we get into that, something we'd like to do here on Retro Reboot, just take about 2 or 3 minutes between the runs and talk about the differences between the original game and the remake, reboot, what have you, from a speedrunning perspective. So I have a sneak peek of exactly how different this one's going to be, but I'm joined by Periwinkle and Amber to maybe discuss some of those differences. If you want to, the floor is y'all's.
Okay, so we can just...
Where do we even start?
Well, we can start with the physics, and they're the same, except the game runs internally at 60 frames per second, whereas the freeware version runs at 50 frames per second.
Yeah.
But it's a little more complicated than that.
Yeah.
With 3D specifically. So 3D visually runs at 30 frames per second, and actually accepts input at 30 frames per second, despite running at 60 frames per second. So it's it leads to some slight weirdness, but for the most part, the actual physics of the game are identical.
Yeah, all of the Nicholas ports of Cave Story and also Cave Story 3D, they run their physics at 60 frames per second. But since the speed of the game is tied to the frame rate, that means the games literally play 20% faster than the original freeware version, which runs at 50 FPS. So that's the big difference. Is that all the ports just play faster.
Also, oddly, Cave Story 3D is actually closer to the freeware release than even the WiiWare release, which came out before it for some reason. So, there's that. Now, the graphics are obviously different. Many people don't like them. I love them. They're amazing. Even better with the 3D effect, but you won't be able to see that.
The backgrounds are really nice.
Yeah, they really are. With the depth from the 3DS, it looks really, really good. Some of the lighting's a little bit messy, but yeah. But first, as far as the speedrun goes, so the Japanese version plays almost entirely identical to the freeware run, except that it has a couple of extra areas. The earlier release of the US version, not so much. So, the inventory in Cave Story, when you open it, it loads the inventory scripts and keeps track of what script of the area that you were in so that it can reload that script when you close the inventory. In freeware, that works as intended. In Cave Story 3D, that works as intended, except if you choose to quit out of the game to restart it. It never clears whether the inventory was open. So when you reopen the game, the inventory will be open. You don't have to reopen it to where you opened the inventory. So you can close the inventory and reload that script anywhere.
Yep, and that we call that the either inventory glitch. So I think you call it item quit glitch. So that
item quit, which is it's the inventory and you exit game, so it's item quit naturally.
Yeah, and that lets you completely break the game.
Yeah. So any percent of this game, I have the record. Spoilers: I'm basically the only runner. I have the record in basically every category. They're not good times. Please beat them. 3 minutes, 23 seconds is any percent. Not very fun category. You basically get to Arthur's house and then break the game and go to the normal ending. Best ending, not much better. It's only 9 minutes long. Best ending killing Ballos is 12 minutes. Because yes, you don't have to kill Ballos. Spoilers, you can warp to the credits. So, I created a category specifically for marathon and more fun settings of what if we went a little bit slower, but not just that, but we killed all of the bosses in the reverse order. And that's why it's called... And that's what I'm going to be running for people today is Reverse Boss Adventure. It's called Reverse Boss Adventure instead of Reverse Boss Order for the simple reason that 1, it amused me, 2, I'm the only runner, and 3, it's you don't do 2 of the bosses in the reverse order, and we'll get to why, because you literally can't. There's no way yet.
Yeah,
One day I might find a way.
It's funny because usually the case is that the original game is the most broken and the re-releases are fixed a bunch of glitches, but in this case the original version is actually shockingly glitch free, whereas Cave Story 3D is completely busted.
Even Switch is busted, which is amazing.
Yeah, because even the credits work on the Switch version, which is insane.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, yeah, so I'm excited for this. Y'all are going to be in for a real treat if you've been in here since the first run. So thank you again, Periwinkle. Thank you for the amazing run, and thanks for discussing some of the differences here. I'm going to go ahead and give that mic back over to Amber. Amber, just do your thing, introduce yourself, and let me know when to start time.
Hi, so I'm Amber. You might know me also as Amber, or Supreme Dirt if we go even further back, but nobody knows me by that anymore. So, I'm running Creep Story 3D. I don't have to explain all the preamble because it basically is from the run you just watched. So that's wonderful. We're probably just going to jump right into it. If you want to give me a countdown or something?
You can count yourself down and I'll start the timer
Awesome.
whenever you're ready.
Okay. So, 3, 2, 1, go. Oh, a couple of things to mention is, so we allow turbo in this game. Through input redirection, you can use it on the original console, and so it's just allowed because the mashing is not a super interesting part of the game. And so, yeah, we have the extra little bit of text, which actually is something that makes the any % run possible. And we're going to start with what is simply known as Balrog skip, 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 skip. So Balrog skip is when you say no to Balrog at the start of the game and you skip fighting him. You saw that in the freeware run. Balrog skip, skip is, well, we need to fight Balrog. So we have to skip Balrog skip. Now, Balrog skip, skip, skip is we can't actually do that at the start of the run because Balrog is the first intended boss of the game, so we have to kill him last. So that we would do. And that involves setting up another file to skip that, but we'll get to that. And Balrog skip, 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 skip is, I found a way to skip that Balrog skip and make it faster. But more or less, I'm just going on, but we're gonna see quite quickly. The game's gonna look normal for about a minute and a half. I'm not gonna get that life capsule because we're not gonna keep it. We can't keep it. We're not even gonna save. So one more cutscene. Sadly, unskippable cutscenes. We've got a couple of those. So the freeware run goes left, gets the locket. We need the locket, because the locket's what actually both makes Balrog in the shack, and also we just need it for something very intended. But we're not going to go get that right now. We're just going to go over here. We're going to go right to the shack. And I've decided I don't want to play the video game anymore. I actually want to play on file 2. So, I want to make sure to hit the right side here so that when I hop back, I'm right in front of the door. It's not hard to do. You just jump and hold right. If you land, there's a little trigger on the very top of that slope there. And if you land on that somehow, if you manage it, I've managed it. That's the somehow. It will just this cutscene will just trigger over and over and over again. You'll get about 1 frame of movement every time. It's bad. Don't do it. So yeah, we've activated this. Now we have to say no here, or we self-lock. I said yes. I said yes, and that's kind of bad. So if we say yes there, we soft lock, and we gotta re-trigger this. And yeah, the trigger never goes away because it's not actually intended to be that trigger. So the event for this cutscene is, I forget the exact ID of it, but it's much higher than this ID, but there just hasn't happened to be anything between the event ID for this and the event ID for this fight. Okay, and we gotta do it a 3rd time, but I got out of the way of the trigger. And yeah, so it just, the way Cave Story 3D is, and Cave Story Freeware actually, but it never really comes into mattering, is if it runs into an ID higher than the ID it's supposed to run, it just does whatever's there. The error handling of this game is basically just do whatever's there. Don't worry about it. It's someone else's problem. Okay. So now that we're through that, so that Balrog sequence is actually what locks off Graveyard, and we need to get to Graveyard. But before that, for definitely intended by the developer reasons, we're going to get the map system because we just want to see where we are. So long as we always maintain a sense of it. Oh, and I'm just going to not jump there because I like going up this tree. It is kind of fun movement. Not really. It'd be more fun movement if I didn't do that. So we're going to save here. So one of the big important changes in this game is that it has time attack, and you can't actually get rid of your access to time attack, so it's allowed in the speedrun. Which, of course, means that we're going to be using it as intended, and we're going to be grabbing the fireball. Which is... there's Arthur's house in there. And now we're in Arthur's house. And I've decided I want to go back to the first file. So, we actually picked the easy difficulty in this game. Not because the game, like, we're at serious risk of dying, though I would pick easy in a marathon setting anyways. But I have to dodge the trigger here, and I didn't. But simply because when we get to the Iron Head fight, it's a little bit broken. And we can just die before we even gain control. And so playing on easy, he only does 5 damage, which means you just pick up 1 life capsule anywhere and you're safe there. We're going to pick up a lot more than 1 life capsule because marathon safety. And yeah, so we need map system because, as I mentioned, when we re-enter the game, first let me get map system. I can just show it off. We're gonna close there, and so the idea of that treasure chest more or less aligns with the idea of the computer in here. And so when we interact with this, we interact with the chest that would be in that other room. And we get the map system. Now, you're probably figuring that the map system is a little important to this run, and you would be correct. So, once again, we're going to go to time tack. We're going to item quit. We're going to go back to this file. And so I mentioned that so the game loaded Arthur's house's script while we have the inventory open. So when I interact with the map system, I am effectively calling the script for the teleporter in that room. And so that gives us access to bushlands immediately. And because I had the inventory still open, I pulled time attack script here. So I just got the Nemesis. We need the Nemesis because one of the bosses is immune to the blade. That was the room entry script for time attack. And that gave us arms barrier, the Chimera counter, and... sorry, 290 counter, and... Booster 2.0. So... I actually kind of want to get some XP here, because I would really like to have Blade level 2, because there isn't really a good spot... Oh, perfect. Okay, so I got Blade level 2. And nobody saw me take damage there, which is wonderful. So now we need to quit out of the game, reload, and that will bring us back to Bushlands with its actual script. So, as you've noticed, I still have 3 HP, and in a PB attempt, I would generally get some health on the way and not bother with this, because this is a little slow, but it's late. I'd rather not die in a marathon run, even though this isn't really a marathon run, but close enough. Marathon setting. So, normally when you collect a life capsule, it destroys the life capsule object. And it's certainly trying to do that here. And I actually don't know if there's an object in this room with the same idea as this. There might be. One of the life capsules might be. So it might be getting destroyed. But because this triggers the event of it and doesn't get destroyed, we can just collect an unlimited amount of life. Well, I believe it eventually rolls over, but I don't actually know that for sure in Cave Story 3D. Cave Story Switch has a cap if you do something like this. And I don't actually know what freeware does. I think freeware rolls over. So we're gonna get, I think it's 13 life capsules or something is what I normally get. But just a good solid amount of HP. Anything over 40 is just completely unnecessary. So now we have health. We have our weapons, we have booster, we have everything we need to kill the final boss. But this is reverse boss order. We could go end the game right now, but we're not going to do that. So we're going to pick up the Rusty Key here for later. We need this to fight Balrog 2, but we're not going to be doing that until much later. It's just convenient to pick it up here. So we need to get back to Arthur's house. And so ID 0100, most of the main areas, happens to correspond to the game's teleporters. And would you believe it, most rooms also use that for their first door. So we're gonna get back to Arthur's house right like this. So now, our first boss needs to be Undead Core. It should be heavy press, but I haven't actually found a way to actually trigger the heavy press fight. I haven't actually figured out a way to trigger the heavy press fight and actually get out afterwards. Oh wait, no, I'm going here. Don't mind me, definitely didn't reroute like the day before marathon, even though it's not a marathon. I'm confusing myself. So we need, in order to actually save after Undead Core, we need Iron Bond, because defeating Undead Core with Iron Bond is what unlocks the prefab building before Hell. So we need to get Iron Bond. Normally to get Iron Bond, you have to do a bunch of side quests that also require bosses being dead. And if you've been paying attention, this is reverse boss adventure. We can't do that. So we need to, first, to get Iron Bond, we need to talk to Curly. With Curly saved, and with the Mapignon in our inventory. So we need to get Mapignon. So we need to bring back our second file to get into Graveyard, to get our main file into Graveyard. Also, I got Locket there while I was talking. We need that. Don't worry about it. So I'm gonna item quit here. So in Arthur's house, keeps a spare key under the flowers, along with that locket. So we need this to get back in easily. It just saves time later. We don't need this, but it saves a bunch of time. Now we're gonna go through this door, which happens to lead us to Mapignon's room. But if we talk to Mapignon now, well, one, we would have to fight him to actually get Mapignon. And also, it wouldn't actually give us to it. But the script exists in the room. So we talk to the teleporter, we trigger the script after you defeat Mapignon, and we get Mapignon. So now we have the first piece of the puzzle. And I need to find my place in my notes. Amber load times are longer than the game's load times sometimes. Okay, that's not what I want to do. Every time I accidentally have to reload the game, that is 18 seconds of time lost. So I just lost 30 seconds. So there's a very convenient thing about that room. It just happens to have a really convenient script where, so if the game reaches the end of a script when it's trying to execute something, that's not good. That's also not good. The touch screen was just not reading my input. I didn't actually close the inventory. Thank you, touch screen. Very cool. Okay. So as I've mentioned, the inventory will trigger things in this room, and this happens to overflow to the normal ending cutscene, but if we close the inventory, it breaks the execution of anything that is going on. So we can break out of the normal ending cutscene into any of the areas of the game that are in the normal ending cutscene. And that's really convenient, so we can use that Mega save point. Its script happens to be the right length where if the game tries to load a script and hits the null, the game adds a null character after every script that it loads in, and if it hits that, it just runs whatever's there. Which is really convenient, because that script lines up right with a door script in Plantation. Meaning that if we execute a script higher than the highest number script there, which is really easy, because the highest number script there is 0100, we end up here. Which gives us access to Plantation with the camera broken, because the normal ending breaks the camera. So now we're going to pull file 3. File 3 does get I'm going to very carefully dodge a soft lock. I'm going to save because we need to get back to the Plantation later. There was a bunch of things in this room, this run, which look slow, but they're faster, I swear. The movement's not one of them. The movement could be better. So now we need to get up to Oh, wait. I'm getting ahead of myself. So, we now have Plantation loaded. And we still need Iron Bond. And... I am lost in my note. So we got Locket earlier. And Locket happens to reference the Labyrinth teleportation script. So we're gonna go there. Now I have to wait. If you notice, I've been waiting for the HUD to reappear after the teleporters, and that is when the game gives me back control. If I close out of the inventory before that, I will soft lock. And so this script of this life capsule, one of the many life capsules they added to this game, happens to reference the talking to Curly and Plantation. So even though we haven't actually done things to be able to talk to Curly and Plantation, because we have an object that can load that script, we can just talk to Curly. And so Curly is in this life capsule. And now we have the Iron Bond, which will allow us to save after Undead Core. We can't get out of here, so we just have to do a couple of small things to get out of there, which luckily is incredibly easy because this game's... Oh, the funny thing is, some games have like a lot of glitches where like a lot of things are broken. This is exactly one thing broken in it. And that one thing allows us to break the entire game. So we're back at Arthur's house. We need to get back up to Plantation. We need to go fight Undead Core. Which, thankfully, that's why we saved this file here. Otherwise, we'd have to do another breakdown glitch, which is what we call the going through the normal ending. It's just a shorthand for it. So we're going to Rusty Key teleport again. Get back to A Corridor. The reason that it's faster to use the Rusty Key teleport is 1, there's no would you like to teleport, and 2, it never actually takes away control, so you can immediately do the breakdown glitch, which just is convenient. So we can actually enter the door to Last Cave, but its script actually just points to another script, which does the loading into Last Cave. And so that sign in Sand Zone just happens to have Last Cave hidden in it. And going through Last Cave hidden with the camera broken would be terrible. Luckily, it would also be slow. So now we're on Balcony. I'm gonna fail any attempt to look good, like I have good movement. Wow, that was something. So we need to get back here later. So we are just going to park file 3 up here, not file 1. We're going to park file 3 up there. And now, so we need to get up to Undead Core. But as you know, you're not supposed to be able to get up to there. But if you've been paying attention to anything about this game, even if the entrance or something is not there, its script sure is. This looks scary, but like you just hold right. You can actually do that a little bit faster. You can get under it with only 1 hop. But yeah, the entrances and exits are all still there. Unless it's a case where the room just has a separate room for something, which does happen. So we're at the King's Table, where we will fight the Doctor, but we can't fight the Doctor, because this is Reverse Boss Adventure. And we're at Undead Core. I'm going to fail the boost off of that. I don't think I've ever gotten that. I'm starting to convince myself it's not possible, but I've seen it done. Also, entertainingly, the things to the left just disappear. Like, they just disappear when you trigger this cutscene. So, Undead Core fight, I assume was explained. I missed the end of that run, sadly. But basically, I have to kill one of them for the core to open up before it reaches the front of the room. So I'm going to jump up, damage the core quickly to make it close, and then I'm going to take out probably Misery. Yeah, Misery's the one that's gonna cooperate. Hello? There we go. The main reason I take out Misery is just because I use the Nemesis in this fight. Oh my god. I swear I played this game before. And that's Undead Core. You're rarely in danger of dying in this game on easy difficulty. If you've ever felt daunted by Cave Story speedrunning, just pick up one of the remakes and play it on easy. You're not going to be in much danger of death, and it'll let you learn all the strats. So that's Undead Core. For normal ending, that'd be the last boss. For best ending, we'd be moving into Hell. Instead, so in freeware, you would be going down, back through. But I mentioned there are extra areas, and we actually get to see one of them in this run. So here's the Falling Tower. That was good movement, I promise. Full disclosure, this is the first time I'm actually using input redirection in a run. So we're just gonna get through here. We're not gonna pick up that life capsule. We have plenty of health. So if we go through that room, we'll be right behind Misery. And if we walk left, we'll trigger the Misery fight, and that would be bad. But conveniently, the door in this room will just let us go back up. And we're gonna fight the Doctor. I mean, I call these fights, but like, it's Cave Story. I would be mashing if we didn't allow Turbo. Turbo is wonderful. Save your hands. Even without Turbo on, if he ends up floating, that means he either give you really bad RNG, or you did something wrong. Oh, and I should also mention is that we don't get a heal after the boss rush, because we killed him out of order. Also, in non-glitched runs, there's actually a rather important difference, is you actually get a missile refill after Undead Core, because there is the extra area. So, which is really nice, which means you don't have to care about your missile count at all in this last section of the run. It's really nice. So we're gonna come down. Now we've got Misery. RNG boss. Hello? Aww. So yeah, she teleports randomly. You've seen this before, but done a little bit more clean. Oh wow. Oh my god. There we go. And so we have to go back up and go down because they seal the entrance, but when you come back through, because the game is in the state where the island is falling. Also, the game's gonna be shaking for the entire rest of the run. It does that. Don't worry about it. So we gotta go back up, we gotta come back down each time to reopen the entrance. And so this is where you would be going to hell in a best ending or 100% run. We can't do that because we can't actually kill those bosses out of order. I mean, we could go kill Bolos right now without fighting Heavy Press. But yeah, we gotta kill all bosses in this run. And I gotta not do that. So we gotta get out. Luckily, all the objects in the collapsed version of Prefab are still intact, including the 0100 door, which allows us to go back to balcony, item quit, pull up our file, just go through this door. If we fall down the hole, the game will just say dog. Like, it just says dog. It overflows to dog in the inventory menu, and it's very good. So we gotta go kill the tutorial boss of this video game. And, you know, actually kill it. There we go. And that's Red Ogre done. It's barely a boss. But, so, oh yeah, we have a actual formal definition of bosses, and it's literally everything that the end credits call a boss is a boss. There's no arbitrariness to it. If the game calls it a boss, it's a boss. That's just how it works. That's just how it be. So, now we killed Red Ogre. Our next boss is going to be Mapignon, which is going to require some nonsense to get to. So, we need to get back to Arthur's house. Now, we need to get a save into Mimiga Village, because it is the only... In order to trigger the fight with Mapignon, we need to have both talk to Curly in Plantation, which will allow us to talk to the Cthulhu in Plantation, which... I'm talking and movement are not friends. Which will allow us to talk to the Cthulhu, and the Cthulhu will then mean that Mapignon will fight us, or give us the mushroom badge and allow us to fight him. We can't do that because that requires a bunch of extra things to be done, which would, 1, be slow, and 2, require bosses to die. So we need, the only script that corresponds to that specific script is the Big Chungus Mimiga in Mimiga Village. So we need to get a save in there. And so we need to use another overflow to an entrance, which requires a little more setup. So this game actually has a few... Oh, I don't have Arthur's house, Arthur's key, and I never update my route here. Well, yes, I did. Loading, please wait. Minor adjustment. So there are a couple of rooms with... So the way the game works is it has a head script and it has the area script. The head script is what normally has the save scripts. But there are some unused save scripts from probably an early stage of the game, which the game also has. Oh, this is going to look slow, but it's faster, I swear. I timed it. This is faster. We're going to make a detour, go back to Time Attack. This is the last time we'll be pulling up Time Attack. And we're just going to get Booster 2.0 on that second file. Booster is so much faster in movement that even for the very small amount of movement we're going to still be doing in this file, this is just faster. Like, it saves so much time if you're actually good about your movement, that it is just worth it to make that detour, even though it looks very slow. So we're going to go to one of these maps with the unused save scripts. And this unused save script allows us to actually access it on other maps, because normally all the save points would just use the same script. So Yamashita Farm, one of the best music tracks in the game, and in most speedruns you never go there. So we reload Arthur's House script to load its script into the buffer. And we do not close the inventory. And now we just click any item, and that will overflow us into the exit to Mimiga Village. And allow us to save in Mimiga Village. Also, now, a simple matter of this game is that if you can get somewhere in 18 seconds, item quitting is actually slower. So we actually get to see some platforming in this platforming game. If you're ever curious why my movement in this game looks a little rough, it's because I don't get to do a whole lot of it in the speedruns. So we need to get Plantation, because we need to get the script for the Thulu, which is in Plantation. So here's Plantation. We borrow its script for a moment. And we talk to our good friend over here, Big Chungus. Or we attempt to, and we jump instead. Now, that little bit of text is what will allow Mapignon to fight us. Now, of course, that entrance leads to an entrance in this, but conveniently, we can just use that area because it has a save point. I need to find my place again. Right, okay. So, And now we need to just get that file over to Mapignon, which means that we have to use the second file. Yes, and yes, it is faster to just talk to Jack the 3 times, then go back and save at the start of the run. It just is faster, sadly. We get to watch Jack go the same route 3 times in this run. It's like very, very close. I need to not navigate the text maze in the wrong order. It serves no purpose. And now this is the whole reason we pick up Nemesis in this run. I hate this fight. It's not too hard to get him down before he goes up, but sadly, I did not. When I had like a theory for a route here where we wait until now to get Arthur's key, but I haven't quite made it work. So now I'm gonna go save back in our Amiga save point. Not Arthur's house for once. I'm gonna fail. Our next boss is a boss you actually didn't see in the past run. Our next boss is the Sisters, which you actually skip in most speedruns of this game. Because it's trivial. If you activate the fight and you leave the room, they just get marked as dead. And if you just ignore them, ignore the chest in that room, you will never see them. So, but we need to fight them because this is reverse boss adventure and all of the bosses are bosses. We actually do need to kill them. Okay. So we need to get to Destroyed A Corridor. Which is just going to be us chaining doors together. Because movement tends to be slow. Oh, we actually get to move for like 2 seconds. We get to hear like 3 seconds of the best track in the game. So once again, this is obviously going to be faster. So we're actually going to briefly see one of the other added areas in this room, and a corridor detour. Which is actually very convenient. If this weren't here, we would have to go backwards through and risk dying in routes where you're not getting a lot of safety health. I mean, I guess there's not a real risk of dying. Like, there's not a lot going on. Hello? Doors are the hardest part of this game. So, I could have gotten super missiles at the start of this run, but then I would have had like 2 super missiles in my inventory for like a good amount of the run. So this is slow, but I just realized I'm at actually kind of low health. And I do not feel like dying. Oh my god. Why did I think there was spikes in that hole? The old route for this actually used to get the spur, and this boss was like super trivial. Because you like shoot them twice with the spur, and they just die. So that sister's done. So now we need to get over to Ironhead, which... I mentioned that you may have heard me mention something about Ironhead being a little bit broken. And, well... I sure am glad we have the blade in this route now. This is the whole reason you have to get health in this route at all. Because you might just die here. So there's a bunch of unused entrances, which you might have noticed already, because I didn't bother explaining it, and I probably should have. So, there's an unused entrance to Sand Zone just from Arthur's house. And in Sand Zone also happens to have an unused entrance. And that entrance doesn't seem to work correctly. I'm not super sure exactly why this happens. But so, yeah, this is the Ironhead fight. We can actually just have a walking animation over here, and everything is broken. We're facing the wrong direction. Everything is, like, acting in wrong directions. Ironhead here would have teleported if I didn't just kill him there. Sometimes he doesn't move back fast enough, and you actually just can't get the kill here. So, yep, that's Ironhead. We're going to see him again, though. We're actually going to see him again in a couple of minutes. The original route from this, we saw him 3 times, because that was actually... Before we allowed time attack as part of the run, we actually used that to get Booster 2.0. We would just trigger killing Ironhead from that room, and that's what allows you to get Booster 2.0 from this cutscene here. We trigger this cutscene first, just because it's faster. Actually, I'm supposed to trigger this later, but, you know. Talking. This is a very involved and rather complicated route, and the game's movement is not particularly easy, so, you know. So we're gonna save here. We're gonna get back to Arthur's house, which is really convenient that we have a save file here in Arthur's house. Honestly, Arthur's house being such a hub for things in this game, just on so many levels, is really, really, really useful for the routes. So there's yet another unused entrance that we're going to use here. And it's not that one. So we're going to go back to Ironhead. We're going to pray we don't just instantly bite it to Ironhead. Please. Ironhead was kind today. There's not much I can do about that. Like, theoretically, I could go get health. But, so Ironhead's room has one unused entrance, and that leads us right to the core room. I could have done that a little bit more optimally, but you know. So our next boss is going to be Core. You saw how to beat Core, and it's not going to be a lot different from that, besides the fact that I don't have super missiles. I didn't actually see if Perry got the quick kill. I hope so. It's a cool strat. Oh, also, water in this game lags, like, badly. There's many things people don't like about this game and think that they're terrible about it. The one thing I will agree with literally everyone on is, why does the water lag so much? Like, it lags badly. In non-glitched runs, if you have to go to Waterway, I'm sorry. Okay, so... I'm gonna be very careful not to level Nemesis, because Nemesis actually gets weaker the higher its level. Also, compared to most other remakes, this game actually implements the weapon swap in the opposite direction, which, for me, exactly me specifically, because I actually had them swapped when I played Freeware my first time, is very convenient. I am like the one person who actually used swapping them. Okay. I am the one person in the world that used that feature. And Cave Story 3D happens to be the one version of the game which implemented that version of the weapon swap.
I didn't even know that was a feature you could do in Freeware.
Yeah, it is. It's in the settings, but the settings are in Japanese, so, you know. Luckily, the settings are usually in question mark, question mark, question mark, question mark, because you don't have the language pack installed. Because Windows. Yeah. It's like the bottom setting on the right or something. It's been a while. So we're actually going to leave Curly here. She'll be alright, don't worry about it. Her ghost is going to greet us in a moment, and then her ghost is going to be fine. Also, lag! 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 Lag amuses me more than it should. So now we could go down to Waterway and fight Ironhead again. That doesn't actually break the rules, and Ironhead doesn't actually get flagged as dead. But he's a boss, so we have to kill him. That's not what I meant to do. So we need to get back to Arthur's house, and we need to go kill the 3 bosses in Labyrinth. That was not it. That was not the play. The downside of not having quite adjusted to using turbo in this game is that sometimes I'm holding down the button at the end opening scene and I just load file 1. So we're going to get file 1 back to it, and we're going to go fight the bosses in Labyrinth. Thankfully, this door, despite being locked normally, just goes places. So we're going to save. We're going to go to Labyrinth. We're going to go over to the Boulder Chamber. So, to trigger a Balrog 3, the first of our Balrog fights, normally, you would need to have Curly in that room, talk to Curly, then talk to the other side of the boulder, then Balrog will fall down and you'll fight him. To do that, we need to get the Cure-All, and the Cure-All unavoidably triggers a boss fight. So, luckily, Curly's ghost is over here in these flowers. If I can talk to the flowers. So you'll see Curly was in fact flying. Curly's just in those flowers. So we just need to actually go up here. So now that we have talked to Curly as if Curly was in that room, we can go back to that room. No, we cannot go to Egg Corridor. Don't worry, Egg Corridor, we'll get to you. So, if you know anything about this game, you'll know that Balrog is one of the I'm annoyed. Balrog is one of the hardest bosses in this game. But I'm gonna manage. Now that I've said that, I'm gonna mess it up, unfortunately. But yeah, we have to kill Balrog. Sadly, we don't get to do Labyrinth Fight, and honestly, the Cave Story 3D version of Labyrinth Fight, best version of Labyrinth Fight. Do not at me. Oh, yeah, and I messed it up. Because you probably saw it in Perry's run earlier, but yeah, you can just walk along, and if it spawns behind you, it will just hit him. And now we'll move the rock and just ignore the rock. But we're gonna be back here. We're gonna be back here. I promise. And hey, We could have gotten seer missiles earlier, but they're just on the way, which is really convenient. Because we have to pick up missiles during the run, because that's what spawns the boss, it's just really convenient. Okay, so if we walk left, we would trigger the Monster X fight, but there's actually a trigger that loads Monster X into that room that's off to the left. And because a wall spawns in our way, a laser wall, we can't actually ever hit that and actually load the boss into the room. So the boss fight will be loaded, but we can't actually fight the boss because the fight is running, but the boss is not there. So we have to go through a bit of shenanigans. We gotta go save in that room, because we gotta save. We must beat all bosses continuously. We load into this room, and you'll notice that the armored Gaudis are in fact in that room, because we have killed Core. Which actually would make the fight much harder if I didn't have, like, 70 HP right now. So we're gonna get the clinic key right here. I'm gonna save in case I manage to get squished. Which has happened. I'm not proud of it. You could actually get more 8 than 127 HP with the massive amount of HP. And yeah, the instant death stuff, you will just survive it. So we're gonna fail a lot of weird movement. Don't look. I mean, do look. So this is kind of a fun fight. So that's all 4 done in one cycle. Oopsie. You're not really at risk in this fight with Blade Level 2, because Blade Level 2 will just cut through the bullets at the first part. I've actually managed to get this fight in 2 cycles, and I'm not sure how. I'm not sure how I managed that, but it has happened, and I would really like to find a way to replicate it. Okay, so that's Monster X done. I haven't actually timed whether this is faster. I've timed a lot of trivial things, and you think that this would be one of them, but I have not in fact timed if it's faster just to walk left here. I have to assume it is, though. If I didn't tell you, you wouldn't know. I could have just said I timed it and it was faster, and you would have all believed me. So we're gonna kill the hardest boss in the game. So normally, if you've gotten here casually, you don't have a lot of health. And like, you're like actually at risk of, but I'm just gonna let him squish me, so I'm right in front of the door. There's like a slightly faster strat I could do there, where like, I'm actually gonna get healed again despite it being slow, because nerves. And like, you could have him like land slightly to the left there, and it would be like maybe a tiny fraction of a second faster, but like, it's not super worth it. Okay, so we need to go kill the bosses in Sand Zone. Which means we need to get to Sand Zone. So, we're gonna go there. That's it, that's the strat. I'm gonna go there. We've seen this particular item quit nonsense before. So we're in Sand Zone. We have... Oh, okay. Alright. Oh my god. There we go. So, to actually access the Taroko fight, normally you would need to return all 5 dogs. Now, theoretically, we could do that. Theoretically. But that would be very slow. It would require a lot of shenanigans to move around the sunstones. Now, if I collected the life capsule that was up on top of those blocks, this run would be over. This run would just be over. So here's a peculiarity about the last cave. So if I were to, so we need to get to Last Cave Hidden. Specifically Last Cave Hidden, because Last Cave Hidden actually has, among the other things, it has the boss, it has an unused life capsule, which would be 3 HP, but it's It's hard to say whether it's intended that it's not obtainable or not, but you know. Video games. So we need to get to that specific last cave. Because it has the correct script length. Also, a free life capsule that we're not going to keep. Now, if we were to go there on either of our other files, we cannot get there. Actually, there's probably a reroute I could do for that, which might be a little bit faster. But so this door happens to lead to the ID for one of them. We could also go to the teleporter down below, but we just need a script for that last cave. So now, the reason we need that specific script length is we're going to go over to this life capsule, and this life capsule is going to allow us to overflow to the entry to the second version of Jenka's house, which is a different map. Now, because I would never get this normally, I mean, I'd probably get it normally anyways, but like, safe strats. So entering this room is all we need to do in order to get access to Taroko. Also, yeah, Sandstorm is still shaking. Whee! So I'm gonna have some good movement, I promise. Oh my god. This is good movement, just under a definition of good movement. We're just gonna make our way over there. Oh my god. I swear I've been actually learning movement. Just in Majora's Mask. So now we're gonna fight Taroko. And as you've noticed in this game, because we get Blade at the start of the game, this would be the fight where you get Blade, and you're gonna notice that the boss fights kind of drop a little bit in length. So optimally, the optimal fight here is Taroko jumps once to the left. And actually, I think I can manipulate. Yeah. Actually, I'm pretty sure I can manipulate that. Come to think of it. Why have I not been doing that? Anyways, yeah, I want Taroko to jump once to the left, and I'm pretty sure I can just make that happen here. Okay, never mind. I shot the missile too early, but I'm pretty sure Taroko always jumps on the missiles, but don't quote me on that. So yeah, we just kind of stand inside Taroko and spam the blade. We're gonna get the blade again, but not actually get another one. That actually happens with all items in this game. If you get them a second time, they don't actually appear in your inventory. So in the previous version of this route, we actually went all the way back through a labyrinth to get to a save point. Because in my brain, the IDs in the first room of Labyrinth I, don't actually line up very well with any. Turns out, my brain was wrong. So I'm going to walk over here, I'm going to save. I'm going to go over to Arthur's house, I'm going to borrow its script. Also, I keep forgetting, but you can actually open the inventory instantly when you're loading for a save. So yeah, we're just going to use the teleporter, which is this robot. That robot in particular. Actually, it's all of the robots, but, you know. And so now we have defeated Taroko, and we need to go defeat the rest of the bosses, but we can't actually go there. I didn't actually need to reload. So we're gonna take this script. We're going to load it literally anywhere and go through the first door we can. And we're back in Sand Zone. Now we're gonna go over to Omega, and you're gonna start seeing just how not intended you are to have something like Blade this early. Have you ever wondered what would happen if you happened to kill Omega before it jumped the first time? Well, you're about to find out. Ah! Oh my god. There we go. Oh my god. Nyum. I might actually kill before it jumps out now. I actually don't know. I've never actually been here with Blade level 1. So we're gonna find out together. Oh yeah, it still does die. Yeah, these bosses are not balanced for Blade. So that's a Mega done. We're nearly there, we're nearly done. We got a couple more to go. Ah! Fine. Fine. Oh, I leveled up this, so now we get birds. Actually, I think we get to keep birds if I get them again. Because I don't actually think I need Nemesis again. Yeah, we get to keep birds if I get them. The best weapon in the game. So, now as we know, Curly has drowned. But Curly was actually in this room with the Colons who have just popped into existence. There she is. That's another boss down. We've actually only got 4 bosses left before hell. Yeah, saying yes is faster, sadly. If you say no, you actually get extra health, which is nice, but it's slow. And not to mention the rest of the text is slow. And if you were to say that you wanted to trade Polar Star for Machine Gun, you don't actually get Machine Gun, despite the game saying you do, because the game tries to trade for your Polar Star, and it's a very specific script command. And if you don't actually have the item it's trying to trade for, nothing happens. Oh, I should, you know. So, we need to go over to our good friend Bullfrog. So to get the Bullfrog, you need the Gum Base Key. And to get the Gum Base Key, you need to have talked to the robot that makes the explosives, which you need to have beaten Balrog 2 for. Now we can't do that, because we need to kill them in the reverse order. So, we need to work around the fact that we can't actually teleport to Bushlands in any way that has the script easily loaded. Now we could just... I don't know why I'm going around this way. We could just go there and go save at the right save point. Or... Now this is the only reason we collect... No. This is the only reason we actually collect the map system on File Deal. We go to Yamashita Farm. We're gonna go to Bushlands, and we're gonna save in Bushlands. Now, a small bit of trivia about Santa's house door. I guess they figured that the angling of the camera was a little bit weird. Santa's house door actually has 2 hitboxes for it, and one is just slightly to the right here. Optimally, I would want to boost it to the right there, but I just missed it. So now we can reload in Bushlands. We can item quit. We now have our file in... We now have the script saved over. And we can go here, we can use the Gum Base Key. It's the same way we get into Arthur's house early. Now with Blade Level 2, you can do this in 2. Like, you saw the 3 cycle before, you can do it in 2 with Blade Level 2. Sadly, I don't at Blade Level 2. This is the one tragedy of me having lost Blade Level 2. Yeah, so it is an HP gate. And the damage output of the Blade Level 2 is just so high. Blade Level 1 is no slouch, but... So that's Balrog then. Now we're going over to Balrog 2. So we would pick up Rusty Key anyways if we didn't need it here, just because it does save like enough time to be worth it. But we needed to get into here. Oh, I actually did need Nemesis again, so it's a good thing I didn't keep birds. Sadly, I can't quite do the same strat of jumping on top because Blade doesn't actually hit Balrog if you're on top of him. But I can do a modified strat where I just stand under him and get hit. And that's Balrog 2 done. We got 2 more bosses. We've actually seen one of them twice before. Because they reuse one of the first... They reuse the first real boss you encounter in the game, like a lot of games tend to, where it's a late game enemy that you run into. Oh wait, no. No. But yeah, so... We've done that. Now, the other reason we actually need... So if we were to go out through that door just normally, we would run into a very long cutscene. And cutscenes are slow. So, we're going to take our other 5-limb bushlands, and we're going to go over to 8 Corridor. We're going to item quit in 8 Corridor for no reason. So it's very convenient about the door to Balrog, and... Oh, I used to do this earlier in the round. It's really convenient that the door behind Igor and the door behind Balrog, well, the door in front of Balrog, happen to have the same ID. And that's convenient, because there's a save point right below the door to Balrog. So I can just, do this. And I'm here. We actually have to do this cutscene. We're gonna tell her we did not save her because, one, we're telling the truth this time, and also it's faster. Now, we gotta wait for this cutscene, because this cutscene is what actually makes the door to the save point, which is gonna be our ticket out of here, because the laser door, we never actually opened it, so it will never actually open when we defeat the boss. So you can actually take damage off of Igor, because he's active for some reason. There's only a couple of bosses that are active, so I could have dodged that, but it's not really worth my effort. It does 2 damage on easy. So that's Igor down. We got 1 more boss left, and this one I am actually going to need, to focus. It's actually the hardest boss in the game. So if I were to exit a corridor and item quit, and then go through that door to get back to Arthur's house, I would also be treated to a very long cutscene where it loads a bunch of times. I did that wrong. It loads a bunch of times, and as you've seen, Cave Story 3D has load times, and usually they're not that bad, but in the case of this one specific cutscene, they're very bad. Because it jumps back and forth between rooms. They probably should have considered thinking that one through, but it's the only time in the game where the load times actually are bad. So we just need to get back there without going through that cutscene. And it's really easy because we can just go through a different exit. We are going to get one unskippable cutscene. Because the room where the cutscene of Jack and such in that room normally happen is actually a different version of that room. And those are just already in place in that room. So because we already got Locket, we're just going to throw Blade at Mamor in here. Mystery? Luigi? I don't... Wait, she's wearing green, so probably Luigi. So now we've got Balrog 1, the hardest boss in the game. The only thing I want to worry about here is that I'm holding down while I boost over. And start holding the A button at the correct time. So Balrog skip, oh. Balrog skip finally comes to completion. So, now I mentioned that we actually have to kill Heavy Press and Balos, the final boss, in order. Now there's a very simple reason for that. We can't actually kill Heavy Press out of order. Oh, I needed to... Oh wait, no, I didn't need to heal, wow. Well done, me. We actually can't kill Heavy Press out of order, which means we have to do the entire final intended segment of the run as intended by the developers. There is no getting out of Bloodstained Sanctuary. We actually have to complete Bloodstained Sanctuary as intended. The only thing likely to kill me in there is either particularly bad luck in the second room or the death spikes. So we need to get back to the second version of Balcony, which luckily... where am I going? Luckily, Throne Room is just the same room, and the left exit just leads you to the correct balcony depending on your game state. So we're going into the final stretch of the game. I'm going to save because regardless of version or category, you should save before going into the Bloodstained Sanctuary. Nobody saw that. And that's why you save. Actually, I think I could have saved that. That's 2. It's actually possible to beat this section of the game without booster in exactly this version of the game. Because you can get... Actually, I guess Cave Story plus Switch would also be able to do it, because you just get more than 200 and something health. Memory made me pick up that life capsule. Now we're just gonna casually make our way through this room. The upside of collecting a lot of health in this game, though, is that I don't really have to care about this room. Normally you would actually have to make some sort of effort to dodge these, but I don't really. They also do half damage because of easy difficulty, which is also really nice. Honestly, that room is the only reason I haven't even considered attempting to run this game on, like, any kind of, like, low percent nonsense in this game. Seems terrible, specifically because of that one room. At least on 60 FPS. 50 FPS for freeware, like, you have a lot more time to react. And honestly, if I could play freeware for exactly one room of the entire game, it would be that room. So, we're gonna damage boost through here. If I had gotten Missile Level 3, I would do the little skip here, but I'm not going to, so I'm gonna go up through the top. So this life capsule, unlike the first life capsule in Hell, this one, they didn't make skip the fanfare. Oh, yeah, there we go. They didn't make it skip the fanfare. So the life capsule is, like, really slow. It's not like that's actually slow because I have to wait on the door anyways. Oh. Kinda sucks to have level 3 Nemesis. So that's Heavy Press. That's the only reason we have to do this as intended. To be fair, Bloodstained Sanctuary is a cool area of the game, so getting to see it in a speedrun is nice. Also getting to see the birds. The birds are nice. So here comes Balos. Also, if you haven't noticed, look at the timer up in the top left corner. I'm not going to say anything. Just, it's the opposite of Mario seconds. So, he doesn't actually have a visual cue in this version. But I mean, if you play this game for long enough, you just kind of figure out when. So you actually don't want to be all the way in it for this, because then you don't hit with enough hits of the Nemesis. So I don't actually know how to do this strat, but I'm sure gonna try it. I have the health. I did not get it, even close to get it. Okay. Actually, I want to learn that strat. Best ending in this game is basically get the items you need to defeat Balos and kill Balos. And I should probably know that strategy for it. So yeah, this run's coming to a close. There isn't a whole lot to say. The routing of this game has been pretty fun. Like, I just kind of found this version of the game. Nobody had really like talked about it. I played it casually and was like, oh wow, this is not as bad as people say it is. Like, not nearly as bad visually as people say it is. Oh, that's unfortunate. Oh no, we leveled down the Nemesis. So time is not yet. K-Story 3D times differently than freeware because we have a bunch of categories that warp to the credits. So timing to the final hit on the final boss is not that useful. We time to the final input, which is typically in the endings. Well, sorry, the final relevant input, which for bad ending is not actually the last text box. Because if you just leave the buttons, the game will run to completion. So it was just to make it easier on people, like the last text box where you still don't have to hold the button, and that's it. So we're gonna go to the end of the things, and yeah, this category basically exists because, you know, best ending is kind of boring in this game. Like, it's fun. You have to break the game in half and then go fight Balos. It's basically, you want an individual level that fights the last boss of the game. That's what best ending in this game is. Though best ending in this, there's actually 2 routes for this category, and we could have gotten Spur, but Spur is slow. But at least there's some slight changes in the route, which have their merits, and it's a little sad that we don't get to see Spur in a category, but 100% in this game actually requires Spur. So there's that at least. Because 100% cares about the number of item locations rather than actual items. And yeah, that's K-Story 3D. That's time. I forgot to say it.
GG's. Thank you. I was sitting there, I was like, time?
Yeah! Time was there somewhere.
Okay.
Time was when the text box.
Yeah, that's a world record, isn't it?
Is it? What time did I get?
When you finally told me time, 1:12:38.
Holy that was such a bad run! How was that world record?
Well,
what?
GG's on the world record.
That was so bad, though! I really need to, like, now that I have the input redirection going on, I need to get this sub-hour. Like, this category so easily goes sub-hour. I just need to actually practice the movement, and it should get there quickly. And yeah, if you want to run this version of the game, I have full route docs, I have a full setup on how you can set up your own 3DS to actually run it properly, stream it without a hardware mod, and yeah, that's all I gotta say.
Yeah, well, thank you so much. That was wonderful. We got to see a live world record tonight, so can never be sad about that.
No, I guess not.
Yeah, so we are done for the night. I got a couple of quick announcements, and then we're going to go off onto a raid after playing a quick ad during a break. So announcements being, Monday is Community Spotlight with Saga Frontier. Going to be a fantastic episode. Really hope that you tune in for that. And a reminder that all subscriptions and bits for June are going to the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. So if you've given charitably tonight, all those are going to a good cause. And then Summer Games Done Quick 2020 has gone online. So if you go to gamesdonequick.com, you can find more info on how the event is going to run. And there's all the dates there, and game submissions are actually open again if you wanted to submit some things that you maybe didn't because you couldn't attend. So yeah, this has been Zoe Vermillion. Amber, thank you so much. Thank you to Periwinkle earlier, as well as Acorn and Nat. Have a wonderful night.